Got it. All right. Well, what I'll do is I'll just start out. I'll just show you kind of where we're at with the update on the site, and then kind of re-ask a question on some of the stuff that we still need from the team, and then we can get right into the financial stuff. I just want to kind of give an update here.
Who is Mitch? Mitch.
She's also actually part of our management team, Michelle.
Okay, I just added him. I just wanted to make sure.
Is that a common is that a common abbreviation for Michelle over there, Mitch, or is that just kind of
just like an alias?
Yes.
Yeah, I never heard that. Obviously over here Mitch is for Mitchell, I guess short for Mitchell for the guys normally, but that's interesting. Yeah, I could double take on that initially when I saw the thing too. So I'm like, oh hey, these names don't match, but I figured it was a shorter version. All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen here real quick. I'll just show you a couple pages that we were working on. So I think you guys saw the homepage, I think last time, but I'll just kind of go over it again. And then if you guys have any questions as we go. So just one thing I want to show you guys for the way BD works is that there's a logged in and a logged out admin bar here. So as soon as somebody logs in, then the login and get started go away because they're already a member at that point, already logged in. So it kind of goes down to the other stuff, and we can add other content in here for the members or whatever. So there's just the homepage, basically saying that why they need to get started, that they want the full list of services or whatever, and then we have the different categories. How it works with the four steps or whatever on how they do that, and then just the pictures of the admin people that we went over before, just pictures of the VA, so which is loading a little bit slower here because of all my tabs open this morning as I was doing stuff, and I'll be on the video, but that'll load all your pictures, which I think you guys saw before. And then I'm going to remove this here. I think we talked about this last time. I'm going to put this behind the firewall basically to be able to sign up first. And then they would actually get the form there after they sign up or whatever, and kind of get how it works, whatever. So there's all your smiling faces. And so what it would basically do is they would click the get started now on or get connected with a VA, and it basically kind of goes to a new get started page, which kind of goes over just letting them know that they're going to have to sign up to get to talk to or request the VA or whatever. So it's just thank you for your interest. I got these nice new banners here that Charles put together for us. And so all these will be different on all the pages. And then it just kind of goes over the steps. We got some examples of some of the content that you guys made here on the left-hand side. But basically, you're going to create a free user account, complete your interest form. And then that's basically the two-step thing to try to get coordinated, and that'll be the initial salvo. And that's what I went over in the last video, where they would go to the actual form, fill it out. After they fill out the form, it will go to the page where they can upload a video or screen share to explain what they want a little bit more. And then I also added the booking thing on that page so that they can book a time, so we can go over the initial thing. So on that note, still need to have in the directory notes thing there on that to-do list on the VA section there on your the times that you guys think would work best, either probably morning or night, I guess, for the initial thing. And what we want to do is set up those definite times where we can be available, the management there can be, or the managers can be available to, and then we can coordinate those times where we're available every week. So if somebody signs up for a time, we're available, you're available, and then we obviously bring in the VA or whatever based on the request to kind of match them or whatever, and we have that meeting to start the ball rolling and get them to sign up and get off to the races. So we still need that from the team there to finish that up. But that's that process. And then we also have a page basically that is more of a a landing page, but a more in-depth thing on how to get the how the process works. So basically, oops, sorry, that's not it. Let me go there. It's the how it works page here. So if they're scrolling on any page, obviously this is going to be on the top there. We want them to be able to just know we have the how it works on the front page, right? If they're scrolling on that, but on any other page, they click on that how it works for the actual website or whatever. We want to be able to know how the process works on any page they're on. So now we have this how it works page. And it basically goes into a little bit more detail, again, with some of the images. I think Charles did this one, but a little bit few more images on the left-hand side here that you guys made. And it just goes into detail on those 4 steps again. So basically, the other one was like getting interested in doing the inquiry. This is basically how, once they know they want to start working or whatever, these are the processes, right, that they need to go through. So choosing their plan, whether it's an hourly rate or per project, or if they're going to do that bulk month rates, or just kind of work with them more of hourly basis or a larger chunk with a VA, which we're going to talk about today, obviously, for the finance part. And then they're going to get matched to your assistant, right? So we're going to handpick the match. We're going to do the management thing. We're going to meet with the assistant, and they're going to, schedule that, which we already talked about. And then they're going to get their project page, which obviously we've already gone over, and then begin, so they can pass on requirements and stay on track with the project. And then the last one, which was on the front page, is just focus on their business, right? They're going to delegate their tasks to the VAs, and then spread the word, tell everybody else about it for everybody else. So we kind of put that page together for the how it works. So feel free to browse around and look at that and provide any comments that you guys want. And then the final page here, I'll go fully here in a second, but we're going to have each one of these pages for each one of these different groups. So you can, hire a social media virtual assistant, and we'll have a page for hire a website virtual assistant, or hire a media design or a multimedia virtual assistant or whatever. And so we'll have an overview here, basically say what can they do for you, and kind of give some examples of get their brain going about what you can, do for them. And then we'll kind of go into the pricing, and we'll go into that rest of that in a little bit there. So any questions on that brief overview? And then on that page, that same page, we're going to want to put those 5. I think, Karen, I think we're going to go with 6, obviously, because we're going to do 3 or 2 rows of 3.
Yeah.
I think so. That would be 6 as opposed to 5, which would be an odd number. So we need 6 things, but we need to, again, on the directory note thing, we need to add the information on there on those specific pre-priced tasks that you guys have experts in, that we know we can crank out and we're ready to do. And so we can put those on the site and get those. I call them easy wins, right? Because you always want those roll in there with a quick project where they're not paying ongoing for somebody necessarily, or maybe they don't need want to go through the hassle of coordinating, a VA, long-term or whatever. They just want a job done for a multimedia thing, but they don't need a full-time multimedia person. We can get extra income for that. And it's just the slippery slope. At that point, now we have their info. We can sell them on you need a full-time assistant, right? If you're doing the social media all the time, we just don't need to throw a graphic at you here or there. We need a full-time person that's doing that, managing that, et cetera, for you. So we still need some input on that from you guys, so we can get that going. Again, obviously, if we don't have that, then we can't get those pages up and get this started in a week or so. And then so any questions on that from the team? Yeah.
That's what I was just gonna say. So does anyone have questions on the needs? Have they been going to the notes board, to directory notes? Because this week we've put in what we require from your end, and I don't know if anybody's logged in.
So let me go to
because in
that
our
again.
last meeting we had talked about the descriptions, like even like 2 paragraphs, and I don't believe we received any.
Karen, did you get the one thing I'll ask you while we're waiting on them, the recording from last time?
Yeah, I'll put it up. It's on my
Okay.
computer.
Okay.
I just haven't put it in yet.
Yeah, I'll just show you where that's going to be put here. It'll be right here for the meeting recordings. Again, we went over that
Okay.
last time. So,
Yeah.
so just put it right there. So again, on the in the again the main directory VA thing here at the top of the folder and the to-do list. Again, is where we're adding some of that stuff. I actually put in here for you guys what we needed. I didn't link all these, but initial products again, down in each team. There's a products folder. We also had said last time we're going to add some, ideas for lead magnets or content on lead magnets in there, so we can kind of get a lead magnet for each of those pages, because we'd like to have a pop-up or something on there to grab a name for a lead magnet to people interested in those particular categories. So we want to continue to work on that. And then, once we have a good template made or whatever, and Karen, maybe that's the next thing we need to do, is just we need to pay to make a lead magnet template that looks really good, and we'll master that one, and then we can just replicate the rest for the rest of them with maybe a different color or something with different content for each of those other ones. But anyway, we need the initial products for each of those, and then we have the block times that work best, 15 minutes blocks, but days and times for those, and so there's an entry block for those. And then I need to know who needs those accounts for the meetings, so we can set that up of who would need a room. Obviously, I think every assistant that's going to meet with their client or whatever would probably need one, but I guess initially to set up. So I actually marked there what I need from you guys. So hopefully it jogs your memory there. And here's a screenshot of the other one that I added the meeting room setup to with the flow after they sign up with the video, and then they can sign up immediately. But I need the times down here to Wicker, the times available on them to pick. So I did all that stuff that we talked about for my stuff last time. I added the meeting room setup. This is new, but it's kind of inconsequential to the booking system, but what it does is the booking system provides a link for the meeting. So instead of Zoom, for this one, we're going to use the Meet subdomain, which I now have up here again, just like everything else with the meet.directoryva.com with the meeting room, and it's going to be the initial one. And it has a lot more functionality for that initial meeting to have a little bit more interaction as we're trying to figure out what they want for their business. So it has whiteboard capability. We can do screen share. We can there's the chat. We can share screens, and we can upload files. So we can template these rooms out to be have all the content. So when we jump in there, we're ready to go. And we'll have that process after a little bit there flowed out, where they can just grab and download all of those onboarding files that we will need from them to get started with your VA or to fill out their project page or whatever that happens to be. And we can go down that road once we kind of figure out what we need. But it has all that capability as well, where we can add files to there. So I set that up for us. Which we can go over before the first client, or actually during the first client, because it's going to be it's pretty self-explanatory. They would just go into that room. The other advantage of this one is that you guys will get and I actually added the sign-in information here. That's going to be your sign-in basically for the system. So if you are hosting that, you need a host, basically either me or one of your managers are going to log in with that password, and then you're the host, but it's always open. So there's no scheduling. If you guys need to pop in there to talk, if somebody says, hey, I want to jump in there and talk about my project real quick, we can open that. It's always open. We just need a host to log in with that host password, if that makes sense. So it's a little bit easier for the onboarding stuff because although we have the scheduling system available to schedule everybody the time and give them the link and say, hey, it's at this time. If you go to that room, it's always open. There's no scheduling to open a Zoom room or a Zoom link or anything like that. It's just you, the host, with the login password, and then anybody can jump in there if they need to talk to the team. So it's a little bit more flexible for us, but that's set up for the first meeting. And then the last thing we talked about last time was the forms, and I did add all of those extra form elements the front form. And let me just go over that real quick. Great suggestions from the last call. And I added all of those to the bottom page form, which will load here in a second. But so the time zone. So we have all of the applicable time zones across the world here. The anticipated start date, and then the number of VAs needed, and then if they've researched any specific VAs they'd like to work with, please add their names or names here. So we got that as well. So all those, and those are great suggestions. I think all those to have on there are good, and really the only thing that we need from them, I guess, minimal, and let me know if you guys think differently, but just name and what category of an assistant they need. That's really all we need to get in contact with them, or for them to us to initially kind of know who we're looking for on that. But so anyway, so I did all that stuff, but again, we're back over to you guys. Just want to make sure we're clearing the stuff as we're working this as a team. We need to crank through the stuff, because otherwise we're gonna be waiting on stuff from the team going forward every time we do this, because we're hitting roadblocks, so we can't finish that stuff up. So if we request that stuff, we need some information from you guys in order to fulfill that. So any questions on the notes piece or where that stuff is at? I know some of you guys have signed in already. I just want to know where we're at for the execution of adding some of that stuff in, so we can finish that out.
Yeah. Ryan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. I just have a question with regards with the meet. That's Meet, right?
I'm sorry, that
Google Meet, to be exact. The meeting.
Yeah. What about
Is it? Are we going to use? Yeah. You mentioned earlier that there would be a username and a password. Would it be one username and password for all of the teams?
Well, normally this is for the introductory meeting only. So remember, this has nothing to do with the booking side. It's like the room. So it's like basically for the introduction thing, it's a Zoom or Meet replacement for that intro meeting. Just because these are going to be set up with the initial documents, right? Or the stuff that we need to onboard people or whatever. Does that make sense? So it's basically a standing room for the onboarding, not for the daily meeting. So the normal meetings, everybody's going to have their own booking stuff that links to their calendar, and then they'll just be using the Google Meet. I think is what you said you guys were going to use for the one-on-one or back and forth between the VA and their client. If that was your question.
I see. Got that.
Okay. Yeah, this was just for the meeting, the first meeting in general. Let me see if I can actually open that up and just kind of show you guys that real quick. Since I'm sharing my screen, let me know if you guys can see it here once it loads. But again, it's just at that thing. It's going to look like this, where it's going to say join the conversation with the audio and video. I'm just going to do. I'm going to join without audio or video because I don't want it to start echoing or screeching or something. So this is what it looks like. It basically is just a desktop, right? With the stuff down at the bottom, you can record it. People can raise their hand. You have a chat down here, but it has all the stuff on the side here where you can co-browse as well. So I didn't mention that. So if they co-browse, you can basically browse around on the same website together, and everybody's screen changes. And so everybody basically can control the whole thing. So if they click on a button, it'll go there. If you click on a button, it'll go there. So you're basically co-browse around their site or your site or whatever. And then share screen, and then we can have whiteboards and then files on there. So if they want to diagram something on here, then they can draw on the directory VA whiteboard here and draw what they're trying to get at, and then close that
So
whiteboard out.
basically,
Anyway, so that's the brief
yeah.
overview of the that system or whatever. But that will be for the initial meeting only, just to be able to have all this stuff pre-uploaded and pre-whiteboarded or whatever we determine we eventually want to do. So hopefully that makes sense.
Got that. By the way, Ryan, I see that the platform is very useful with the co-browse feature. Especially we have this program that will be having some like tutorial to others, right? So I think that would be more functional when it comes with training our VAs as well. Would it be possible the
Well,
co-browse feature? Let's say, for example, we would like,
what's the training thing that you're talking about?
yeah, the co-browse feature of that platform. I think that's very useful when it comes with training our VAs. Would it be possible if we can use that as well?
Yeah, I could look into that. I can't remember because basically it's an extra functionality on this software, that there's certain number of rooms or whatever. So we could probably, I'll have to look in that. I think we probably have another training room, I guess it's set up for you guys specifically that we could do that with, probably. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think
I'll
a
take a look at
training,
that.
yeah, training room is good, because
Yeah.
and little things, I think starting next week we'll start training just on some basic things. I know, like for lead magnets, doing an ebook, really we should do a training on that, soon, to be able to get that, together properly so that everyone is on the same page.
Yeah, because I mean, I mean,
Yes.
that's just another subject of, and actually, that may be a good salvo into having you guys. I'll turn off my screen
Yeah.
share here, and I'll just let you guys kind of launch into your information initially. Here is that kind of like, obviously everybody's independent contractors, I guess, or part of the team. You guys have a company structure there or whatever. So how do you guys normally do that in terms of everybody doing stuff on their own and coming to the table with what they've got or their own education or whatever they're trying to sell for the team or get hooked up, vice what you're providing to people, or do people come to you guys with little bit of talent, and then you're training them to be better at their game, and then how does that translate into the product that we're providing for clients? So two questions, I guess, for you guys to open up today before as we start talking about the financial stuff is that one, how do you guys interact normally with your clients and stuff like that, and then knowing in terms of how they're part of the team, how do they request invoices from you, or you just pay them based on stuff that you calculate? How's that relationship normally work for you guys? And then if they do have lower talent and vice higher talent, how does that work in terms of the products that are output by the team? And then that's one of the things that we wanted to talk about is kind of like something that we can put on the website or a process or an internal knowledge of how we're going to work, guarantees on work, right? So if we have somebody coming in that's new by somebody that's that's awesome, there's going to be different levels of quality. So what happens if the client does not like what they got initially? Are we redoing it for them? Are we coming in with somebody more experienced to do it again or to edit what they did, and then we just kind of take on that cost or whatever for the client so that they know that they're getting a good product? We can kind of guarantee that. So that, hopefully that makes sense. So it's basically that first question is just how you relate to the training, the functionality and performance of the team, and then how do you normally do that financially with them in terms of coordinating that with the team, so we can kind of start talking about the finance piece and how we're paying you guys to pay them, basically.
Yeah. Well, actually, our client with Koi, Maribel, you're still here? Maribel.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you please explain to Ryan how how our process with Koi? Actually, we used Upwork for that, but can you please try to explain what is the issue? Because Maribel is the one who handled that process with Koi, but the training, the client trained us, and then we rely it to the RVAs. But the finance part, it's the client and Verbal who decide how does it work?
Yeah.
Marvel.
Thanks so much. Yeah, thanks so much for that, Mayan. So basically, what we did before is that we are just doing the data cleaning, or so-called data mining or data entry for this company, and they are actually needing at least 20 agents to clean the data for their company. So what we did is actually on the first meeting, on the first discovery call, the management and few of our team leaders onboarded with the client. So they taught us on how to do the data cleaning and data mining with on basically how to do the process, and the team leaders cascaded the information to all the members. So we are actually doing that one through Upwork, because we are basing the finances, and we they actually needed the unofficial receipt, so unofficial receipt for their company. So we the platform that we use is the Upwork, if you're familiar with that. So that's what actually we do. We're actually using Zoom and Google Meet meeting with the client. So basically the direct VA thing is actually an organized platform for us, since what do you call that? Since all of the onboarding process, all of the project management, all of the uh trainings will be
Even the
provided,
invoicing.
provided under the one platform. So this will be beneficial, and this will be
Very
useful for
helpful.
very helpful. So this will be generalized process for us, and this will be easier to work with clients.
Okay.
So
So let me go in, Karen, I'll just show them what we talked about earlier on the invoicing thing. So let me
Yeah.
just kind of explain, or I had Upwork on here. I'm familiar with it, but I wasn't sure how they normally pay out. But let me go to the directory VA thing here. So here's how we were going to do it, and it was going to be pretty simple from our perspective. I just want to make sure that this matches kind of what are fine with you, or how we're going to execute. But basically what we're going to do is pay the team once per week at the end of the week for whatever invoices were paid in the system from the previous week, and just literally just keep it that simple. It's going to be the paid invoices on the whole system within the last 7 days. And then all of these invoices, basically your proportion thereof of that invoice or whatever in total will be the amount that's paid to you guys to then redistribute to the team. And then you'll have all of the invoices from any particular project or whatever, or team member that will have the info, so you can pay them out, right? So if
And
we go to
will
the
you have
particular
one?
invoice,
Yeah, will they have one PayPal account? That's what I'm curious. Like on
yeah, well, I mean,
mine.
that would be the next question, I guess, if
Yeah,
that's fine with you guys, how
yeah.
that was working. Are you guys just gonna, how would we do, push that over to you guys? But let me finish this real quick, and then you guys can answer that one. So obviously all the invoices will be in here from the previous week. And then they'll have obviously the project name in here for the particular people. Everybody that's working the projects will know everyone has its own invoice number. They'll know what their clients either whether they invoiced or it was previously invoiced, or whatever. They'll have access to that as well. And obviously you guys have access to all the invoices here as the admin as well. So that's bottom line. That's what we're looking at doing. We're just going to pay out every invoice from the previous week, tallied up, and then that will go to you guys. So I guess over to you guys. If that is that fine to just do it like that and then pay the one account? And then I guess how would we do that, or what would be the plan for that? So I just want to kind of get your initial reaction on the payout piece of that, if that's process is fine with you guys.
Actually, we can do the one PayPal account. However, I don't really know the process of PayPal. However, we also would like to have Wise, if you're familiar with Wise. Though we need a bank account and we're still in the process of processing the bank account for Prime
Okay.
itself.
What website were you talking about?
If
Or what software?
the Wise, Wise transfer,
How do you spell it? Is it ZE or SE or
that's WISE,
okay?
Wise transfer. I
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
gonna I just typed in transfer. Well, it's just wise.com.
yeah, that's it.
Okay, that's simple domain there. Yeah, and
Um, Marvel, you're familiar with the process of PayPal. I am not familiar with PayPal at all, but normally my clients use Wise, and I just forward them my bank account to them, and they'll the one who set it up, because our cards are not accepted here, or there's no option for us to add our cards here in the Philippines. Though I believe in some countries like yours, you can add our bank details. So if we already have the our own bank account, because it's still on the process, as I have mentioned, if you already have our own bank account, I believe we can use Wise to forward all the payments there.
okay, all right, we'll take a look at that.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's just like yeah, they're all this same. Yeah,
It
Yeah,
might
all
even
so
be
right,
Chase,
sounds
Western
good.
Union.
Yeah, on
Mhm.
my part, I'm actually using Remitly, that one.
This one.
Yeah, it's easier
Remitly. Yeah.
because yeah, it's there's just 2 to 3 days clearing here on our country. So as soon as the clients or you are going to send us the payment, so 2 to 3 days after that we'll go in to receive the payment. As compared to other methods such as PayPal and
PayPal.
Wise,
There's a
I'm actually not sure with
21.
those.
Actually, for Wise, we can you just have to wait for at least 1 to 2 hours. And also they will send you a notification that your client already sent you the money. However, for the PayPal, I believe there would be at least 21 days hold time before you get the money.
Oh, I
That's what
we're
I
Oh,
heard.
really?
yeah.
Okay.
No,
Usually it's pretty
we
instantaneous
yeah,
on.
we've been using PayPal with Charles. Um, because he's just did a few little jobs I've been teaching him, and
Mm-hmm.
he's gotten the money from me right away, like within the minute that I send the transfer
Oh,
through. Now, and it's been so fast. So, but then so some other accounts sending in, he said like some of his clients, it can, because they we have a PayPal business account. But if somebody pays you from a personal account, so this is what we discovered last week, was that one of his clients, it was taking 5 days for him to clear the money, but it wasn't because of the, like your side. It was because the client was paying from a personal account with PayPal, not a business account.
business
So
side. Mm-hmm.
yeah, so when you pay from a personal account, they're gonna hold it, right, because of fraud and things like that. But
Oh,
we have an ongoing um, business like that we've been doing with PayPal, and he can tell you he gets the payment within a minute. Like I send it and it's there for him. Anybody who's won the contest so far, who I've sent money to, has gotten it right there within 3 minutes.
well, if that would be the case, then we can go with PayPal then. But I just have a question with that. Would it is Charles using his personal PayPal account? Is there like there's no conflict in sending money to a personal account using
No,
your
no,
business account, right?
he's
I
been
see.
using his personal. So we went from business to personal because I wanted to see if it worked,
Mm-hmm.
in the past week. And then he had an issue with a client. So he messaged me and he said, "Can you figure out the issue?" And these were little things that we need to know. But the issue was that we found out that he was being paid by the client from a personal account. So your banks or the system holds it up, right? But when you
Mm-hmm.
pay from a business account, they know it's secured. money. Like Ryan and me do this all the time. So it depends on your rating with PayPal. Everybody's receiving it within 3 minutes.
Oh, well, I
Oh,
guess we can get that PayPal right now, Marble.
yeah, I mean, we'll take a look at the wise thing too. I mean, it may make, financial sense,
We'll compare it
with
out.
the amount
Yeah.
that we're gonna push through here anyway, Karen. It may make sense to do this anyway, because it may have lower fees than PayPal. I don't know. We'll take
Yeah,
a look
we'll
at
have
it.
to look at it and see.
All
Um,
right, all right.
So that's on us. We'll take a look at this, see if, what makes sense, for both of us, as long as you're, fine doing the PayPal. If that seems to be the better option, then that's fine. We'll just let you know that, but we'll take a look at that, see which is better for the team on both sides or whatever, if we're having any issues. But yeah, to
All right.
alleviate that concern, I guess, from, Karen already trying that out there, it should. And again, we can always, just, it doesn't take that long to sign up for an account. If you guys have a bank account you want to hook up real quick, and make a PayPal, it's worth trying out potentially, just to make sure it works, and that may make more sense. But we'll cross the bridge, when we get to that. We'll look at this one, and we'll kind of compare notes, in a little bit here once we take a look at that. But just to verify then, so you're fine, doing the whatever, the back end admin distribution, whatever on your side, for that stuff. We'll just pay you guys, and then they're gonna, or you'll distribute, or they'll request, or you guys will handle that side of the thing. That's fine with you guys.
Yes, sir. Actually, we already discussed this with the management, and
Okay.
I'm speaking actually on behalf of the management. So, what we are actually doing is that so you are going to pay us, and we are the ones who's going to divide this or distribute it to our VAs. So
Yes.
actually we are getting certain part of that just to sustain the management and to sustain our HR and other departments, because we are also going to pay them, and certainly they will not be getting any clients from here, so they are actually doing the process of hiring other VAs or whatnot. So so we're actually okay with that. We will be receiving the payment from you. So actually we're still going to find out on how we're going to we're actually on part of getting the bank account named for Prime. So because we have a certain law here in the Philippines that there's some anti-money laundering act that's
Yeah.
we cannot receive a payment higher than 1 million or 900,000 pesos. So
Huge
we'll be
amount. Yeah.
yeah, that's
What's the
certain amount.
conversion on that? I don't know what the rate is on the. Do you know what that? So let me do my little,
Yeah, I
online
think
conversion.
that's
Yeah,
$200.
no, we assume that because and that's why we wanted to come out at a really fair rate, because we did all our research and we know what the other VA companies in the Philippines are paying, right? And we know we're over, like even going out at $10 an hour. We've seen people being paid anywhere from $5.99 to $8.99 an hour.
Yeah,
No,
I mean, normally,
yeah,
most of them are 4 to 8, I think, yeah.
4 to 8.
I think you
Yeah.
guys know, but,
So that's why when we came out at 10 an hour, because we realized so much would be going to your agency, and then so much would be going to pay your independent contractors.
Yes, correct.
so, so that's a good, I think, transition to kind of start talking the money piece. Obviously, the individual projects, I think we can leave us as an aside, because again, those are going to be generally a bigger profit margin than the normal VA stuff, because we can, I don't say we talked about this before, where you can hide a larger time, or in the price, because they're paying for something that they would normally have to spend a lot of their time to do, right? So it's not just you just doing an hour's worth of typing or whatever. They're getting a product that would have cost them a lot more. So the profit margin on those are actually, and that's why we want to get those initial projects from you guys and what you can do, because the profit margin is going to be higher, right, than just even have them, you do an hour's worth of work for them, because you're getting basically, let's say 3 hours equivalent work, but it's only taking a half hour, right? And so that's really where I think our community, probably more so than even the VA hours or whatever, getting a person that's hired to do that, that's where you're going to make a lot of extra money from normal, because I think you guys get the economy of scale though for the hours spent by the payment. So that's why I want to get that stuff not nugged out. So I think that's as an aside, we can price those things as we get those things in there. That's always going to be a higher profit margin than just what we're going to talk about, the hourly rates here. But as far as everything else for the hourly rates for what they're getting or whatever, let me just share my screen again. We'll go back to the demo page here, which I didn't finish scrolling down. So again, this will be the overview info or whatever, the kind of topic sets. These are kind of what they can do for you. And then we're going to have on each page basically the hourly stuff, which we'll go over here in a second. And then the pre-priced services on the page here, right? So they see the hourly stuff if they need an hourly person to do all that, or in bulk. Or we can see the pre-priced service, which is what I showed you before. We'll have 6 of these initially, and again more later as we get it, where they can kind of sort by the type of service or whatever, and then just go order that or learn more. And each of these pages are going to have examples of that work that we've done from previous clients. So we'll keep adding stuff on there as example works, and basically a sales page per type. And those will all be landing pages, basically, just like this one's a landing page for the social media stuff. They'll have a landing page with basically a sales copy page for each of those services as we go. And then we'll have a thing where they can go into any other of the service categories here if if they don't want social media, if they want an admin, and then I'll have a header here. I just didn't finish this up because I just kind of tossed this out right before the meeting, but I'll have the or browse to find your perfect assistant or whatever, right? And so these are basically all of your assistants, so 67 of them that have marked down as being able to do some sort of social media. And so that's that portion of the team. And there's this little good looking guy right there. And so these are all the VAs on our system that say they can do that. So basically a nice big landing page here for each of those top 10 categories. And so it has the people who can do it, what they can do for them, and then the pre-priced products, and then the bulk, just working for you time. So does that make sense on the page? And then that's what that's going to be for each one. So let's talk about the bulk piece here. So again, there's a couple things built into this, not only the VA, your overhead for your company. We've got the middle like ground of coverage too for affiliate fees or discounts on our end, kind of stuff, just like advertising stuff where we're gonna get people to kind of advertise for us, to get you jobs, to give them some kickbacks on our end as well, or just other kind of advertising stuff. And then obviously our overhead for all of our administrative work and the software and all just the entire system stuff, right? For what we're doing. So kind of like what we talked about before for the services, just to reiterate that, what we're going to go in once, whatever we figure out what this is going to be. I think we're going to go in with the 40%, 40% of whatever the cost is here would go to your team. And then and we may go 50, I don't know, because it may make sense on the math here, but for
that
this
won't
one,
they won't get the hourly then, right? So that was something.
No, yeah, because there's no, you don't get the hour. So if you, there's no hourly rate for this, right? So this is where I was talking about earlier, like if you do a Facebook and hero banner, this may be $60, right? Or $30, sorry, $30 for a Facebook hero banner. And so you guys would get, 40% of that. So
$12.
What was that?
$12.
Yeah, so $12, right? So so that's $12, which would basically be whatever they're getting paid. I mean, like an hour and a half of work or whatever. It may just take them 20 minutes, right? So they just got paid for an hour and a half of work to do a 20-minute job, if that makes sense. So there's
Or you got
no
the company
hourly
got
rate for this. They're just going to get paid, or the company will get paid the 40% of whatever that job is. Then whoever did that that job would get paid that, if that makes sense. I think that's what Karen was asking. So but again, it's all going to be based off of the invoices. So the invoice percentage that you'll get is from this order, not from a hourly membership or an hourly overage fee or something like that invoice. But again, it's kind of inconsequential, I guess, a little bit, Karen, because it's just an invoice that'll show up.
Maggie just says it's like value-based pricing. Yes. Yeah. So it's like an a la carte menu where and really usually in a la carte menus you end up making more money because we're going to have, like, even for the ebooks and business services, we have like 20 templates that will be going up.
And this all gets down into the processes, guys, right? Of the what we're putting in the directory note for the teams. That's why we have that. So the team can be trained, or team can be more efficient. And so you've got the process laid out. Literally, it's 1 through 10, and how you do this. You swap them out. You do that. You crank it out. 20 minutes, right? Like Karen said, or less than that, and then you just got paid for 2 hours of work or whatever, you know. So that's where we're really going to make the money for this stuff, because it. Although it took 20 minutes, we're not going to offer these up for $5, right? And so this is where you can make
really so our logo package, for example, the logo package is going to go at $60. So you'll make $24, right? So you'll make $24 from the package. And I've had 3 different VAs do logos because I've been trying to figure out the timing. And the most it's gone up to is an hour and a half in timing. So it's going to be like, I think by doing the a la carte, it's going to give Prime great income that they wouldn't make through an hourly. So the bigger the a la carte, the better.
Yeah, and I agree. And so, and this is kind of where you guys can take the reins of your own company and your own people too, and your own training, and however we do this, right? And so, brainstorm and like, hey, let's come up with another pre-play, challenge yourself. Hey, let's come up with another pre-price service every week or whatever. What are we doing this week? Let's come up with examples. Let's do the training. Let's get our steps down. Let's put them down there. Let's get really efficient on email signatures, right? We got the templates, we got the process, and we can crank through it. We got it down, and now we just added that to the mix for next week on there, because we've got the system down and we can do it for cheap. And if we get the sales on that, we're going to make a lot of money, right? So there's a little bit of sunk cost overhead on that stuff, but the more we get efficient for that, hopefully that makes sense to you guys. The more money where everybody's going to make as we start getting orders in. For
and
these.
I think I have to check my Canva account, but I think it was Maggie and Jem who signed up through my Canva account. And if it's just you two, we should have a meeting and trying to get 40 of these pre-made pre-priced services up and going.
Yes, sure, definitely.
Okay. Does that make sense to you guys just in general though, or why that's important to do that? Okay. So let's talk about, back to up to this on the initial stuff here. So these were, I know, and this, we kind of want some input from you guys in terms of the hourly stuff, because again, on the original thing you sent out, you had varied rates. And obviously some of them were pretty high, which we talked about overall for the whole month or whatever, but again, realizing that not everybody's going to be the whole month. A lot of times on these, they just need smaller jobs or to get the ball rolling. It's better to put the smaller price out there and then just kind of do a custom at the end for enterprise, because if we want to do larger part-time or full-time equivalent needs or whatever, we can get them as big of a plan as they want, right? If they want an entire full-time blogger or whatever, right? And they want to pay the full month rate in a package deal or whatever, and we'll just set that up in that meeting or whatever, have that, and then we'll just create that invoice in the back end for them or subscription for whatever that package is, right? And so that's all doable. But we want to put the initial rates here just for that were attainable for everybody to kind of get the ball rolling, and then all the rest of the stuff. Those bigger packages that you guys presented there would just be part of that conversation, right? As they inquire about the options for that. So here's the question. we have for you to kind of get some buy off and feedback on this stuff. What we wanted to do, as is customary with normal stuff, when you commit to longer term stuff and or larger packages, then they get a reduced rate for whatever those services are for the hourlies, because we now have guaranteed. We're not doing all that overhead of like new client, at 5 hours at a time, getting a new client. Now we have another meeting, you're losing some of that overhead and stuff as well. Not only for the project stuff, but your overhead and just the coordination is just a lot simpler when you have people committing to larger blocks of time. So obviously we normally would give them a discount. So here's our initial plan. Let us know what you guys think about that on the stuff. So we talked about that and kind of the distribution of that normally for the normal hourly rate. And again, that's going to be that $10 an hour for this one. As we go up in there, we're basically going to take a little bit of hit on the price, and then the reciprocal for your team would be as well. So in the proposal. So if we're going to do 20 per hour, that's going to be a 5-hour minimum purchase. What we're initially doing there, just to so we're not doing like small stuff. We know that they're paying for at least 5 hours, so it'd basically be 100 at a time. So you guys would get $50 per that VA for each one of those initial packages. And then we're just going 10-hour package and then a 20-hour package for a basic and a small biz package. And that's they're committing basically per month. So 20 hours per month and 10 hours per month. At the 180 and 320. What we're thinking about doing is basically we take off $1 off our end. You guys take off $1 per hour on your end, and then same thing on this one. If they go up a block, another $1 for us, another $1 for you, and then maybe this custom is always 14 or something. I'm not sure like that. Maybe that's a little bit too low, but we can kind of talk about that based on the amount of hours. But that way they're committing to a higher rate. And so I just want to kind of give your feedback on that stuff. I guess 2 questions is the knowing that we're kind of we're paying as much as we can initially, but being willing to go and not lose business to all these other companies that are doing $8 an hour, right? So here's this one's $7 an hour, $8 like from the get-go, right? These guys are doing this is the same thing for like $8, or this is actually $6 an hour there. But just so we don't lose the people that are getting the bulk hours or whatever being willing to go. So 2 things. Is that kind of transition okay from you guys? Is there an absolute floor that you guys are seeing in that, or that from your perspective, just so we kind of know to figure out how we were going to work this for the pricing tiers? And then the second thing is talk to us about that, the different rates for different people of, I think you had which seems really, really, really high, the $15 for SEO or whatever, for example, are there expectations from the VAs on they expect to get more per hour depending on the type, or not necessarily? That's kind of up to you guys to coordinate. We're just trying to keep it as simple as we can, but we could go tiers of service, like admins tier 1 and other design stuff. It's kind of a tier 2 system where this would just get a different hourly rate or a different package deal for a tier 2 type service. I just don't want to make it more complex than we need to on the backend system, or because it's the confused mind never buys, right, is what they say over here. So we also want to, if the simpler we can keep it where it's always the same across the board, that's probably best. But we can't, we can do different tiered stuff if we have to. I just didn't know where where the lines were being drawn on, we can't go lower than that, or we can't, people won't accept this for different types of jobs. We have to go 2 different tiers. So we kind of want to talk about those 2 issues. So over to you guys to give the initial feedback on the pricing reduction with increased hourly rates, and then the tiers or hourly rates across different job types.
All right, let me answer that one first. So
Sure.
For me, if we're talking about the market price, and we are attracting the clients regularly, so I think we're totally cool with that. So we are actually basing the price on the actual market right now for other VA agencies out there. So if we are talking just like what what I said before, if we are talking about long term, I think you know you are the expert about this, so we are totally cool with the pricing that you provided us.
Okay, and to include the same, like, it doesn't matter what service you guys are gonna work that on your end, it can be the same, one tier is fine?
Yes, sir. We'll be coordinating this one with our VAs as well. So
Yeah,
if
I
we
think,
are, yeah, I think they are actually looking for long-term project instead of the one-time project, which is one-time big time project. So
Yeah.
if I'm going to ask, and if I'm going to be speaking on behalf of them, so I'll be looking for the long term instead of the bigger one, which is after that one I'm still be looking for another client. So
Oh, yeah. Well, but I mean, again, the whole point on this one, hopefully for you guys, and that would be our goal for you guys too, is that even if it takes a couple clients, it's going to be a couple of our clients, right? So you're obviously just all using the same system as much
Mhm.
as possible, and using this one as opposed to having to use Upwork, right, and ours or whatever. Kind of what you're saying, right? And that would be the
Yes.
goal. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Karen, do you have any input on that or any other questions? Or
no, I think it should just be one tier. I
yeah.
don't believe that it should have different tiers.
No, I
because
agree too, because
then
again,
it,
from our perspective, that's easier for the clients. And then, if you guys need to break it up into two tiers on your end or whatever, and reduce somebody else's to give somebody else, I mean, obviously that'll just be on your guys to handle if you want to do that. I think it's probably the better way to do that. And then, you guys can handle that on your end.
I totally agree that we can have at least one or general tier so that it will be avoid confusion on our VAs and for the clients as well.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay. Well, I think, Karen, do you have anything else? I mean, I get covered that we
no,
have
I
we have a
think
due
we've
out to go
covered
look
it.
at
We
how we're
just,
going to pay you.
yeah,
What?
yeah. So we've got that we've got that figured out. We just have to get whether we use Wise or whether we use PayPal. Um, we'll look into that and we'll figure that one out with our banks here. Um, and you won the one contest, so I can send you the 20 by PayPal. I just need, if you have a PayPal email, then you can see how fast you can get it. True. I'm just checking. I think we still need content. It's to actually put into that we can show our clients. So we're getting, some Canva graphics in and things like that. But if you have examples of logos you guys have created, I'll put another one. I'll put another contest for a logo up in the group today. And I'll still keep doing it over the weekend. This one is a fun logo I'm going to have everybody do for a contest for. So hopefully
Yeah,
we
so
can
I
get
think
more
I
examples.
think you're talking about, and so this kind of gets down to
The a la carte, yeah.
the stuff for these pages, right? So let's say
Yeah.
we're on the copywriting page, right? It's like hire a content creation virtual assistant or something like that, right? So when we get to these pages for write a blog or whatever, $60 to write a blog, when we go to this learn more page, we want to have links to example blogs,
Yeah.
not necessarily on our system. That'd be great. Obviously we have a blog, we can add it, but other blogs that you've written, right? Or other logos that we've designed. So that's what she's saying is for all these pre-priced stuff and these content pages,
The a la
we want
carte.
to again display those. I think having obviously the content's important as well, but I think we want to have the services, whether we have an example or not. We want to know what you guys
Right.
can do to do that, and then we
Yeah.
can backfill those as they come in, which is important. But put that content on the page as we're
And,
building them out.
yeah,
But we got
and
to
I
be able
can-
to build them first.
I'll hold a meeting with Maggie, Gems, Charles, because he's been using the Canva. Whoever's been using the Canva, and we'll hold a meeting where we can maybe say you do so many samples, and if we all do it, this part will be done really, really fast, and we'll all benefit from it.
Yeah. Karen and Ryan. Actually, I think Maggie has some questions for you guys.
Sure, good.
Okay.
Yes. We just wanted to ask if the prices that you showed earlier um, are those for all the services that we will be providing?
No,
Uh,
Okay.
those ones?
these?
Yes.
No, well, I mean, this for a, like, I would say a la carte hourly, or I just need a VA, like I want to hire a graphics or a social media manager. I want you to run the Facebook thing or whatever. I'm going to come up with the projects. I'm buying 10 hours of your time a month to do whatever, I want you to do for those 10 hours. Then that's the price. If you're just doing, if we're putting the package together of like, a pre-priced package of like, hey, we'll do this 5 posts a day, and we're going to do this for that, and we're going to design this, and it's that's going to be $1,000 a month to do that. Then pre-packaged, then that's the pre-packaged price here. But we're gonna bump it up or whatever that you guys will get 40% of that or whatever. So let's say that you guys want whatever that is on your end, then we'll go, increase it by that overhead or whatever for all the different stuff. And then that's the price you'd get for that. Or if it's an email signature for $60, that's what you would get. Not, they're not going to charge like, oh, it took me 20 minutes. I did an hourly rate of $20 an hour. It's $5. You're getting 30, right? And not 5, if that makes sense. So these pricings are what you would get. You would get 40% of whatever these prices are, or that hourly or rate there for these a la carte or monthly packages. Does that make sense?
All right. So, based on what I understood, the packages in here is just based on the pre-packaged plans below, or is it a different?
No, these are
that's
just
different.
hourly or monthly services. These are just like they're buying time. Like they're not
Yeah.
they're not saying I'm buying a Facebook banner. I'm not buying you to be my social manager. I'm like, I'm buying 10 hours of Maggie, right? 10 hours of
All
Maggie.
right.
And then we're going to coordinate. We're going to get our project page. And I'm going to ask you to do tasks. I'm going to say I need you to do, within the scope of, whatever their social media, or they're not going to be like, hey, Maggie, I want you to design a website. Well, that's not what you do, right? I mean, they ask the wrong question at that point, right? Well, we'll hook them up with the right person to do whatever they need, and then you're just working with them for 10 hours, whatever they need you to do. And so you're going into the project, you're logging your hours that you worked for whatever they're doing against the 10 hours for their project or whatever. Does that make sense? So it's just free time, whatever they're having you do, vice
All right.
having
And it could
the
be
eight
it could be
out.
social media, like when you look at it. We haven't did the social media packaging yet. We have to
Um.
we came up with
Uh,
pricing, but when we looked at your pricing initially, it was always based on like teamwork. And
yes.
most in your
Actually.
go
Oh
ahead.
yeah. So my concern with the packages on the top was that if we are to price that on all our services, for example, they hired or they got the package, I think that's the small enterprise package, and then they wanted to build a website, and for that amount of hours, I think it would be contradicting, as the skill of a website designer is much more than $320 a month. So I think that we should set packages on each of our services that um that the VA or the skills that they have deserve. So I think that
Well,
for this
yeah, to
package,
answer your question, I think, Maggie, this is the way we probably want to do this, and I probably didn't say this, is that you would equate the amount of hours to the service. So for example, if we have, and this is the way I do it, if I have, it may only take me 20 minutes to do something, right? But I already have it pre-priced at $60, right? So I don't care if you're using this amount of block of time. If I have it pre-priced, it's like, in my example, let's say it's a $60 action, right? If they've ordered here at
okay.
$60, if you're doing me an hourly rate or whatever of hourly work, that is a, even though it only takes me 20 minutes to do because I have it pre-priced, that is a 3-hour job. So
Yes.
does that make sense? So I would log 3 hours of work against their block to do that $60 effort because I already have it pre-priced. That's what it is. So I just pass that along to the client. They don't need to know that it only took 20 minutes because you're not misrepresenting the stuff. That's the value of the service. And if it's already a pre-priced thing, I equate that equivalent in the hourly representation when I bill. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? So that's what I would,
Yes.
that's how I would have them do that. That if it's pre-priced, let's say a website is maybe 40 hours of work. Well, if you want me to do a website, that's going to be a 2-month delivery rate, and you just used all your hours because that's a 40-hour
an
job.
an example
Right.
will be a 5-page website. So if somebody comes to us and says, we want a 5-page website, you have to remember most of BD is already built in for you. It's all drag and drop. It's very easy to do. So we're going out at $600 for that. So you'll make 40%. If it's a bigger website, then we go out at $2,000 to $2,600.
Yeah.
And so therefore you would make 40%. Does that make sense?
Yes. It does make sense that we for time consuming or um services that actually does not need a certain amount of effort, we can do that in the pre-priced services. However, my concern is with the different specialties that a VA has. For example, a social media marketing VA in my specialty. So I think that um maybe we should name these packages, for example, a general VA for this, and then for a social media marketing VA, would it be possible if we had another package for that?
We
Just
do. We're developing social media packages right now,
all
but
right.
your
But
pricing.
see, don't mistake the packages of
No,
just general hourly
these are
work
just general.
for
Yeah.
these like prepackaged services or
All
prepackaged,
right.
right? So these will be those prepackaged priced out things, right? But I think what your concern is that you're going to be like, well, these are low for an entire package. Well, then that's probably low for the hours too. And so if it's how this would work is that if they are, let's say this plan, again, this is more hours are going to be at the normal rate. So $20 an hour is how this is set up. So if you got this package and they do ask for a 40-hour job that would normally be priced on your, and it takes 40 hours of quote time that they're pricing out. If you're doing a 40-hour job, then they're gonna get priced. We would invoice them, the VA would invoice them for the additional 20 hours of time that package would take, and you just coordinate that with them. Like, hey, that's a $40 request, right? You don't have enough hours in the thing for me to do. So nobody's going to get undersold by using these packages because.
All right.
Yeah.
So-
How much are you charging for your social media packages? Like you yourself, not the agency, but you yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yes, for social media marketing itself, I would say the full-time rate would be $500 a month.
You're charging 500. Okay. And
That
that's
would include me
500
running the
US.
ads and the content. Yes.
And that's including and they're not
Just
paying.
the social media marketing service.
Yeah. How many posts are you doing for that amount?
That would be daily postings as well
That-
as running ads and engagements.
Okay, so you're
Like it's like an all-in package for that.
okay. So 7. I just got
This kind of gets back to the thing too on exactly what the final pricing is and what everybody's doing the same thing, because it's not the
Can you
Maggie
send
plan,
me-
right? It's going to be the
Yeah.
same plan for
when
everybody.
we meet.
in
Let's
theory,
go
but-
through that because I want to. I need to see examples of what if we have there. Sometimes we can get more money, but we need examples of your work, of how often.
Well, this comes down to
all the
systems too, like
details,
what,
right?
is everybody using their own thing, or
Oh,
how are you,
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It all comes down to experience
Yes.
in the end.
Yeah.
So my prices, my personal prices, does not speak for the pricing of the agency. So yeah, we can just disregard that.
Yeah, but let's talk. We'll talk about it anyways, Maggie, because I want to see examples of your work. I've been trying to check everybody's work out, whether it be on Instagram or whatever, but I'm not seeing a ton of content. So, um, in coming up with these price packages. So I'll give you an example. I do social media all the time, and I'm low. I use it as a lost lead almost, and I do 20 posts a month, and I have a one meeting with their analytics, and charge my clients $400. So, and I get clients, going out at that rate. But then there'll be other ones that will charge, way more. So it just depends
Yeah.
on, the quality of the work. So I've got to see that.
Yeah, I can actually send you a link to my personal work account
Thank you.
just for
Perfect.
your reference. So yeah, I'll send it to the GC right away.
Okay, thank you.
But I mean, bottom line, hopefully that makes sense to the team, and maybe you guys can mull this over and let me know if you have any questions. But these will always have, and again, we can throw this in the notes there on for each product on those product page, what the equivalent time that we're anticipating that to be versus the price, right? So for example, let's say it's a $300, let's just use this example, a $320 media package. Well, that's on this hourly thing, that's a 20-hour availability, right? For that pricing, which we've already kind of established. So that should have if it's a $320 thing down here, it should have an equivalent, or, there's 20 hours available on that. But in theory, these are going to be the stuff that we have a process down. We do this here with this system and post once a week on here, and we have a system down where, although it's in a $20 equivalent in theory, pricing, it should only take us 10 hours, right? Or something like that. And so you guys are making $20 an hour, right? Instead of 10, because we're basically pricing this one at a $20 value, but we're able to do it in 10. And so vice versa, once we have a $20 established value on that particular service, then if somebody is doing a la carte or just paying for hours, but they're asking us to do these things in the pre-priced services, that is like an ordering card. I can totally do that. Or maybe somebody else on the team needs to do it instead or something. Obviously we can work out those circumstances, but that's a $20 job or thing. And so that everybody's kind of going against that option card menu on what they can perform. And then that's going to be, again, the company standard on it's a 20-hour job. So if you want me to do that, I can do that, but that's going to take all 20 hours this month, right? That's your 20 hours. And if you wanted me to do quote 20-hour job, again, it may only take you 10, right? But if you want me to do this extra email signature job, that's $60, i.e. 3-hour equivalent pay or whatever that is, right? Then I can do both of these. I can do that one, I can do this one, but you're only doing $320 a month. That's a 30 hours of job equivalency. And so that now I'll do that for you, but I'm going to invoice you that extra time, and then that money's going to get invoiced. They're going to pay it, and then that money goes to Prime. Like you'll get that extra money because you guys are doing that extra job above the package that they bought. Does that make sense to you guys then? So they should always be equated. You're not going to get stiffed on the money or not get it because they're seemingly you're working 60 hours of what would be 60 hours of down here, but you're doing it in 20 here, and they're only paying $320 for $600 worth of work. You should always mark off from their budget there the equivalent of established hourly payback rate for that particular item. Does that make sense? I just want to make sure we're clear on that. I think that's what Maggie was asking.
Yes, Yes, it's all clear now. Thank you.
Okay.
I guess Maggie was confused about the time and the specialty of the VAs. That's what she would like to point out. However, that was explained well.
Okay.
So yeah, we're good with that.
Okay, but I mean, there's going to be some work on that too. That everybody, you guys are. I mean, there's some onus on you guys to want to get paid as much as you can, right? So if it's a pre-established thing that you can do on these jobs, and somebody asks for that, you can, and this is kind of one of those things where if you look at the menu and go, yep, I can do that, and no, it looks like yeah, we've got that price at 30 hours, so I'm going to get paid. I'm going to mark that off. If you're seeing, I'm going to get paid that much. Mark that much off or whatever, and invoice if we go over and kind of communicate that. But if you realize like, oh, wow, yeah, I keep getting asked for this a lot. We don't have it on our menu here. Let's establish a process, examples, and a pricing to the team. Let's get that out there. Let's get a baseline thing in here. Let's get an efficient process to do that better for the team. And that's a 5-hour job where maybe I only got paid 3 hours because I was able to crank it through in 3 hours. But generally, it seems like a pre-priced thing we can get, and we can do this on some weekly meetings or whatever too. But I did it in 3 hours. I only got paid 3 hours of this work, but we probably should have got paid for 6, right? If we broke it out onto here and put it on the menu card as a 6-hour job. Now although I did it in 3, I could have priced it at 6 hours, and I'm making more money too. Now we don't want to exaggerate the amount of fees, but again, as long as we're pricing these, and we'll be involved with this too, as long as we're pricing these pre-priced services that makes sense for that job, for that price, for what people are willing to pay, we can try to maximize your guys's pay back as well. And that's what we were talking about earlier, that you guys are probably going to make more money from these pre-price packages or whatever than the hourly rate, just because when you break them down like that, and it makes sense. You're paying for the product and what they're getting, not for your hours of typing notes, right? We're exponentially expanding your money capability because we're utilizing the speed and efficiency of taking the notes in our step processes and how to do that stuff, and maximizing that for your profit as well.
All right. Thanks so much for clarifying, Ryan. I just got one question for this one. So are the VAs can see the amount that they're going to receive, or they're going to get for certain type of services? Say for example, for this one, if a client no, all right.
Whoa, no, wait, what's the you said no, but what can you restate the question?
It's an important one. So what he's saying is, will the VA actually see
the pricing?
So we're not going to put 40%. So they're going to see this pricing.
They'll see this, yeah, because it's going to be open for everybody to see. But they're not going to know that they got a certain percentage of this. So it's going to be $60 or whatever. They're not going to know how much they're getting, or they're not going to know how much of that they're getting. Does that make sense? The proportion, is that what you're asking?
Yes, correct.
They're not going to see which package did the client got, right?
They'll not be able to see what package the client chose. Is that what?
Yeah, they're gonna have to see that, otherwise they don't know what they ordered. I guess I'm confused. Like they're gonna be they're not gonna. I don't see I'll have to take a look at that. I don't think they're gonna see the invoices. I guess, is that what your question is?
I think what Merble would like to ask is that, would it be visible to the VAs this pricing, especially our VAs would be able to know that they are being our client are being charged for this specific or certain job at this price, let's say the $180 per month. So I guess what he would like to know, well, for a VAs, they would know that this client paid them with this price. So I believe they would expect with this same amount as well. I guess that's what Merble would like to say, right, Merble?
Yes, correct.
Well, I mean, I hopefully they're not, so here, this is probably the difference between, our site and what we're trying to do for you guys by somebody else, like, some of these other companies, whatever, right? So part-time starter, $7.99 an hour, right? Well, they're just like linking you up to them and they're like, here's their phone number, their email, have fun, right? And they're having to come up with the systems and they're having to deal with all the what systems they're using, all that stuff or whatever. So all the overhead and all the systems that we're setting up to make them a success or whatever. So hopefully that you guys are past, I mean, they're going to be able to see it just like any other site that this is the pricing, but hopefully that's part of the onboarding, or as part of the team, they know we're paying for the leads for the system, the actual project system, the coordination, the scheduling system, you know what I'm saying? All of the stuff they would normally have to worry about or coordinate on their own.
Yeah, the maintenance, the software and all.
Yeah,
I
right,
guess we
exactly.
will just have to, yeah, I guess we'll just have to explain that to the VAs that we really need have to at least a certain cut for what specific job that they will be doing, right?
Right, yeah. And hopefully, and I mean, I understand the question, but the yeah, it's not, hopefully you guys know, like, and so that we're not trying to like, we're not doing any like, I don't know, we're not trying to take advantage of the labor for you guys
Yeah.
doing that, and just you know what I'm saying? We're using that to pay for all the systems and all the coordination and all the stuff that we're setting up for the team. Hopefully you guys see that, and that's obviously what you have to relay to the team, and we can do whatever,
Yeah,
whatever we need to do for that, to relay that. That's a great question, but hopefully that makes sense to you guys.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, we
I get
cannot.
that. I guess we'll have to we'll just go ahead and discuss this with our VAs that we really need to have this kind of cut or certain cut for their pay. I believe they can understand that because that's what usually agencies do here here in the Philippines. So I guess they would understand that.
And we may need to have, and we just for recruitment purposes too, whatever we need on that, we need, we can have fully on here too of like, want to join the team or whatever, and kind of going through the process of like what they get here vice other systems, right? Of all the different stuff, from the support stuff and the lead stuff from the directory, their profile on there, the systems for the project pages, the chat room, the scheduling software, all that stuff's handled or whatever, and make a sales page about recruitment stuff for VAs for you guys. We can totally do that as well, right?
No, I was gonna ask, out of the 150, you have what, 67 independent contractors while we're talking about this? So, because there was 67 in the directory, right? Right?
In the direct, no, there's like 160 or
Then
something.
why did, you pulled up something and it showed 100, it showed 60.
Oh, that did social media or whatever.
Okay, gotcha. Understand.
Because again, each one of these pages, because this is the social media virtual assistant, it's only going to have the social media assistants, right, on here.
Yeah, and the other thing, I'm just going through all my checklists here.
Mhm.
The other thing that we had talked about, so example, blogging, copywriting, we went through all and it said that you had 5 copywriters. Can we get examples of blogs they've written? So if they're a copywriter and they write blogs, they must have written blogs in the past, right?
Yeah, because I mean, we're back to we want to start out with these 6 initial package deals, and then
Yeah.
we would ideally like examples if we can, either previous or let's make some for each of these 6 things, which we've kind of done some contests in some of them, but that we're going to put on these learn more, these individual pages, which I don't have one to demo or right now, but just to kind of show you what the page would look like, but actually I can do it on my other site, but but that we want examples, for all of those other pages. That makes sense. I'll pull up my other site and we'll kind of look at that, an example page of what that would look like, and we can have what we'll work on this week. I'll get a demo page as an example. We'll kind of doctor up one there, Karen, that we probably have all the stuff ready to go. We'll just make up a good visual page for a particular service or whatever. So just so you guys can see it. But so we'll look at this one as examples. So this would be a product page, and this is one that we had just from somebody in the UK, from the BD directory that was trying to sell images. But so this would be an example of an image page, but it would have the item, the prepackaged or service, the cost, whether it was a one-time or recurring fee. We'd have example, a banner made for that particular product type, and then we could have examples like this of in the slider here of other jobs for that. So you can go, oh, these look really good. Yeah, this is great. And then the purchase button, right, that would go to create the invoice and purchase that on our backend system. And then it would just have an about section here with all of the information about that particular product, right? So that's just an example page, but this would be the pre-priced or pre-established example. Okay. So any questions on I guess the do outs or kind of what we're looking from you guys? So looking for the examples, the 6 things. Still need who needs the courses. I'll throw that one out there as well. And then the timelines for the initial onboarding stuff. And then we can, once we have all that stuff, we can finish up, these these 10 pages for these 10 areas, finish up the individual 6 initial products, and then kind of get off to the races and start working the processes or whatever. As we
Yes,
get
sir. Yeah, actually, my apologies for that for not updating the director the notes, because we actually got overwhelmed during our last meeting. So we actually
No, that's fine. We
misunderstood.
didn't repost the replay, and so that's our bad. So
know.
that's fine. I just want to make sure that we're on the same page now. We'll put the replay up there in case you want to go back through it. But again, hopefully, and that's why we just want you guys to get in these systems. Once you get in there, it'll be easier to do as well. Once you guys get in there. And so there's a couple other team efficiency stuff that we can go over in another meeting, that we kind of went over before, the email and chat stuff for the team, where you can actually log in and respond from the chat or email for from the whole company here, from clients and stuff like that. So we'll go over that. And then we have a chat software too for the whole team, where everybody can it's kind of like Slack, I guess, but where everybody can just kind of live on their phone, kind of chat back and forth between teams, send quick notes back and forth, and just really streamline and get efficient on chat processes, and just communicating as well with the team that we can introduce next meeting probably as well. So, but I don't want to, we did enough today as well. I don't want to overwhelm you with that either, but those are some coming things that we have for the team. Just another couple niceties for team efficiency here that we're trying to make available to make this the best system we can for you guys. So.
Yes, sir. So actually, we are glad that we're actually moving forward, and we are already near on our goal here on Director VA. So right now my question is that are we just the management or the initial list of team leaders that I sent you who will be going to have the access for the director notes, or we need the whole Director VA members for that one?
No. Well, I did reply back to you. I don't know if you didn't get the response. So for the directory notes, I think I mentioned I've got everybody on the I've got everybody that you sent from before in the notes, and so there were 3 people that didn't sign up that were on the list you had, and then I think 3 or 4 people were in here that you did not have on your list. So I didn't know if you wanted me to remove them. So there's some active people in here that were active, and I don't know who. Anyway, bottom line is there were a couple people in here that were already accepted, because I invited both the managers and the editors or whatever. But if we just want that list that you have, I guess the question is, were we removing the 3 people that had already accepted, that were part of that original 29 or whatever that you did not send over? Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So is there any other way for us also to filter out the members for that one, or
What do you
me
mean
and
figure it
me and
out? What do you mean by, is there any other way to figure it out?
is there any other way for us to filter the members who are going to be part of the director notes there? Director notes VA.
You would have to
I-
just let Ryan know. Yeah.
Well, just let me know. What do you mean by filter, I
Alright.
guess?
All right, so I'll just be
mean-
checking of the members. So I'll just be letting you know who will be going to be out on that list. Start.
Yeah, so this is just the original 29, like all the managers and editors that you gave me. I just added those same people. So I didn't know that you wanted a smaller list.
Mhm.
So it's Merville, Maggie, I don't know, Momo, I don't know. There's a couple of these people that were not on your list that are active that already signed up, is what I was saying. So these are all the 29. You gave me a list of 16 or something like that. I can remove everybody who wasn't on the list. There's just 3 people that had already signed up that were on the list. So I just need to know who you want me to remove or add, because we're basically at that original 29 list that you gave me, or 28.
Yeah, we can actually maintain the initial 29 that I sent you. So
Okay.
the
So that's it.
the other
Then we're good. That they're all in there. Obviously, a lot of people are pending still. Their membership in here, but all those have the invites, or pending invites there to accept and get in here. So, and then I'll just need to know, and as people are added or whatever or removed, who needs to be added. But
Mhm.
all right.
So yeah, we'll just be maintaining the initial 29. So
Okay.
aside from the 29, please remove them on the list.
Well, I don't have anybody else, is what I'm saying. So
All right.
everybody on that smaller list you gave me was in the original, 29. So
All right. Thanks so
Okay.
much. Those are actually the team leaders aside from the management.
okay.
All right.
And yeah, then to me that makes sense, because then they have access to all the team leads have access to all the templates and links to all that stuff or whatever to distribute or as required. So
Yes, correct.
yeah. Any other questions?
None so far. So we'll be
Okay.
working on the we'll be working on the notes. So all the notes with Prime. So that's what we are going to work out, correct?
Yep, that'd be great. I just figured that was easier because I had some of our to-dos on there too, and I just didn't want everybody to assume that the other person was doing it. So,
All right. Thanks so much for that.
all right, thanks. Karen, do you have anything?
Nope, I'll be in touch with Maggie and Jen to get things going on the a la carte.
Okay,
Perfect.
sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
And again, if you we'll post
Thank
we'll post the 2 videos, Karen, the 2 videos in
Yep.
that video replay
In the
section there.
notes.
And again, if you guys have any questions, just feel free to let us know. We can clarify. All right.
Okay.
Yes,
All
sir.
right,
So
no problem.
yeah,
Thank you.
All right. Thank you
Thank
so much
you.
for your time, Karen, Ryan.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Ryan, Karen.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.